godliness and spirituality. Now we're going to look at an important issue, which is veritable and profitable exercise. Veritable and profitable exercise. You know, exercise is very important in life, both spiritual and physical. But the one that is more important is the one that we are going to emphasize on. More important. This one is important, that one is important, but there is one that has eternal value, everlasting value, that you are going to carry to the great beyond. And that is why we are looking at veritable and profitable exercise. I look at 1 Timothy chapter 4. I read from verse 7. But refuse profane and old wife fables. Refuse profane and old wise fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness. The first exercise, it say exercise yourself rather unto godliness. Godliness. Remember, this channel is godliness and spirituality. The exercise you'll be practicing every day, every hour, every time, night and day, whether you are asleep, whether you are awake, is the exercise of godliness. But rather, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness. Verse 8. For bodily exercise profiteth a little. Bodily exercise we keep is profited a little. Bodily exercise, how long are you going to stay on the surface of the earth? Maybe 100, maybe 120, maybe 70. And if you exercise yourself, that's good, because your body needs that exercise to keep you going. Lack of exercise is not good for the body. The body needs exercise, all parts of the body, for our healthy living. But he's saying, for bodily exercise profited a little. That bodily exercise is going to give you a little profit. But godliness is profitable unto all things. Godliness is profitable unto all things. That's why we're emphasizing on godliness and spirituality. Godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is and that which is to come. Having promise of life. Godliness will deliver unto you promise of life. That promise of life, the practical life that you will get from godliness, the practical value that you get from godliness, the profit, the veritable profit that you are going to get from bodily exercise is unto all. Is going to profit you unto all things, having the promise of life. Is going to deliver unto you life, and life that now is. That life is going to be now. Life is not over. Is not only going to be after. Is the godliness is going to deliver unto you life that is now. Life that is now, and that which is to come. You know, bodily exercise can only deliver unto you life that now is, can only make you to be healthy. Life that now is, so that you can be healthy and live longer. But that is where it ends. Godliness is profitable unto all things, having the promise of life that now is, and that which is to come, and that which is to come, and that which is to come. Let's go to a portion. Let's go to Acts chapter 24. I read verse 16. I say, veritable and profitable exercise. What is the veritable and profitable exercise that you are supposed to engage in constantly, apart from the physical exercise? We have Acts chapter 24. I read verse 16. And herein do I exercise myself. Herein do I exercise my faith, to always have a conscience void of offense toward God and toward man. It's an exercise that you have to practice. Godliness, what will that godliness do unto you? I said godliness is claiming the nature of God, coming back to God in Christ, becoming a child of God, and then God imparting his nature unto you. That is godliness. Having the character of God, having the nature of God restored unto you. That is godliness. Now, when that is done, you continue to exercise yourself. And herein do I exercise myself to always have a conscience void of offense toward God. You now maintain a conscience that is void of offense, that does not have offense, clear conscience toward God. Number one, you have to start with God, number one, and then toward man, toward men, toward men. And that is where it becomes challenging. How many of us can continue to always maintain a conscience void of offense toward God and toward man? How many of us? How many? It's not only, because when you are corrupt, when you steal the resources of the people, when you steal the wealth of the people, the common wealth of the people, as a leader, as somebody who is in position of authority, as a manager, whether you are a bank manager, whether you are a director, whether you are a principal, whether you are the head, whether you are the father in the family, whatever you do, if you steal the resources of the commonwealth that is supposed to take care of the people, that is meant for the development of the people, you don't have a conscience toward men. Your conscience will not be right toward men. Your conscience will not be right toward God and will not be right toward men. It means that you are condemned. Remember, it says godliness is profitable unto all things. Exercise yourself unto godliness. Godliness is profitable unto all things, having the promise of life that now is and that which is to come. That godliness is what we are looking at here. It says to have a conscience void of offense toward God and toward man. Maintaining always a conscience. Do we maintain a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men? Do you make sure that you don't offend men? You don't offend people. Conscious effort not to offend people, not only to offend people, not to steal from people, not to rob from people. In your business, not to rob from people, not to cheat people. In your offices, not to rob from people, not to cheat people. In your social relationship, in your family relationship, not to steal from people, not to rob people, not to tell lies. If you tell lies, that is, you are taking advantage of the people. You will not maintain a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men. If you kill, you will not maintain a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men. If you go and do something that is bad, for example, you commit adultery, you commit fornication, you commit immorality with beasts, with human beings, you go and take somebody's daughter, or you go and take somebody's son and corner, whether it's somebody's son or somebody's daughter, and corner that as your wife or your husband without the proper channel, you cannot exercise a conscience void of offense toward God and toward man. And so this is an exercise that we have. Remember, he said, and herein do I exercise myself. It should be a daily exercise to always have a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men. That is the starting point. Some people will say, how do I maintain righteousness? That is a work. It's a daily work. It's a work. It's if you have to make a frantic effort, a determined effort to have a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men. Because that is what is going to deliver this godliness unto you. Godliness. Having a promise of life that now is and that which is to come. So, how many? This is a practice, this is an exercise. Yes, it says, for bodily exercise profited a little. When you are jumping up and down and say, I go to gym, yes, that's okay. I go to play football, that's okay. I go to exercise myself, that's very good. I go, I jump up and down, I do exercise, press up. All those exercise. They are very good for the body. They are good, but it's profiting a little. It is profiting you to the things that are going to be here, the things that are going to be temporal, the things that are going to be earthly. But what if you transit? That's why I'm telling you, godliness has a promise of life that now exercise. That is exercise. The exercise of godliness has a promise of life that now is and that which is to come. And that exercise of godliness is practically what we are looking at here now. Having a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men. If you are, like I said, if you are cornering people, if you are deceiving people, if you are duping people, cheating people, if you are cooking books In the offices, you know how you are manipulating books, you know how you are overinflating contracts. A lot of people in different parastatals, in different departments, they lie, they go because they want to corner the resources of the people in order to feather their nest, in order to maintain themselves. A lot of people overinflate. A lot of people, the contract that is supposed to be, for example, a particular amount, they multiply it with the consent of the one who is in authority. A president that is deciding that this particular contract is going to be about a particular, the president will decide, or the minister will decide, or the director will decide, the manager will decide to say, add so amount of money for me, that is my own share of this. Now what is that? The man will not have a conscience void of offense toward God, and the one that is doing the contract will not have a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men. And so if you steal from your country, a religious leader who is busy cornering the resources of the people, what is your conscience? Is your conscience deadened? Do you have a dead conscience? Is your conscience clear toward God and toward men? You know what you are doing. You are telling the people, pay profit offering, pay tithe, pay this, pay that, and you are cornering the people. You are asking the people, even when the people are under lockdown, the people are locked down, you are asking the people to pay. You see the poor people and you are exploiting them, you are siphoning them. What is your conscience? Do you have a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men? Do you sleep at all? Do you sleep very well when you go to bed? And when you sleep, do you actually dream very well? Are you sure that you are having a good dream? Are you sure that you are having a nice dream? Your conscience is not right toward God and toward men. So that is a veritable and profitable exercise that you have to do every time, apart from the physical exercise. Say, here it say, for bodily exercise profited a little. Bodily exercise is very important. But it's telling you that it's going to profit you a little. But godliness is profitable unto all things, having the promise of life that now is and that which is to come. And herein do I exercise myself to always have a conscience void of offense toward God and toward man. That is our daily exercise. And that is our daily exercise that we are going to do as we follow this channel on godliness and spirituality.